Good morning, y'all. It is currently... I have to actually look at the clock to know what time it is. It is actually 11:26 a.m. It is currently 11:26 a.m. March 14th, 2026. And I'd like to tell you a little story about the dream that I had this morning. It's been a while since I've said this, but disclaimer, my dream recall is kind of shit. And this dream that I had this morning, I don't know if I've ever wanted, better dream recall so I could explain things better, or to actually be able to, show somebody a video of the dream that I had. It was so detailed, and it was crazy. So, I am not going to be able to do it justice, but I'm going to try. As you can tell by the title, probably, it was a Elder Scrolls 6 dream. Gosh, I'm sorry, my hair just looks like shit, and it drives me crazy when my hair looks like shit. Whatever. Yeah, I had a dream this morning that I was playing Elder Scrolls 6, and I think it might have been a demo. I don't know if it was the actual game in my dream, and I remember that my older brother had already played it in my dream. So, I had that mental context in my brain of wanting to talk to him about it when I was done and, compare notes or whatever. And I remember seeing a pause menu before I started. It was, in the process of opening, a coffin. It was like a Draugr coffin from Skyrim. But the details of the graphics of this coffin looked so much better. It was, really shiny. It was really shiny metal. So I remember that. And, yeah, I remember thinking, wow, this looks so much better than Skyrim. I might get the order of what happened out of order a little bit, but I remember choosing my race. I scrolled through all the races. There was a male version, a female version, and I went through all the races. There was 5 different races. None of them was from Elder Scrolls. It wasn't Orc, High Elf, Khajiit, Argonian, you know what I mean? It was a bunch of completely weird random shit that my brain just made up. That's what's so fascinating to me. I could go on a long tangent about that if I'm not careful, about how my brain made up this entire dream, on the spot. Crazy. This is one of my craziest dreams that I've had. I really wish I could remember the details better. But yeah, I went through all the races. Fucking weird-ass races that I can't even describe if I wanted to. But the race that I chose, it was a short little hobbit guy. It was a evil-looking little hobbit guy with a fucking big nose. I was, had really short hair. It was kind of like a dark elf, but with very, very exaggerated features, but not as dark of skin. The eyes weren't red. I just had a really big nose, and I had really short hair, a buzz cut. That's all I can really remember. And even in that moment, I wanted to remember the race I chose. So I remembered, literally writing it down, the name. I think it started with an F. I can't remember what the name was. But I wanted to remember what race I chose, so I, literally made a mental note of it in the dream. The next thing I remember, I'm playing the beginning of the story. There's, like I said, there's a lot more to it that I wish I could remember. We're in some kind of ruin. It looks like a Draugr ruin. And I have a couple companions with me. I have, this guy, I think he's my boss. He's, giving me orders. And I have another guy. We're, equals in status, but it's obvious that I'm the new guy. So he has, more seniority over me. So he actually knows what's going on. So he's, helping the boss show me the ropes. but we are like, we're co-workers is the best way that I can think to describe it. We're like on the same level technically, but he has more experience than me, so he's like helping show me around. He's giving, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. We come across the bad guy. I don't remember, or I don't know if I even knew what his intentions were or what his motivations were. I just know that he was the bad guy. He's a bald white man. He's completely naked except for like a dirty yellowed white robe. And I remember when we first saw him, we were like running up at him, and I like hit him with my weapon, and I like knocked him down with my weapon, and then he got up and started running away. And like the animations of this game, it was like I was in a movie. It wasn't like I was playing it like a video game, and in the context of the dream I knew it was a video game, but the animations and like the graphics were so good that it literally felt like I was in a movie, like an animated movie or something. So like I see as he's getting up and running away, I make a mental note that I can see his dick and balls. So I'm like, okay, Elder Scrolls 6 has nudity. I remember thinking that. So he starts running away, and we chase him down. We catch him and subdue him. And my coworker guy, not my boss, but the other guy, oh God, I wish I could remember like bar for bar everything that they were saying. This is just Spark Notes. I can't remember the word for it, but I'm going to butcher what he said. He said something like I was being too rough on him. He's like, wow, this guy, he thinks he's tough or something. I can't remember what he said. But as he was like holding him, that's when I really made the mental note. Like he was like holding him by the arms and holding him up. And that's when I made the mental note of how good the animations were. I was like, wow, this game looks crazy. So the next thing I remember is being outside. I can't remember the transitions. Like I said, my dream recall is shit, so I don't know if it was really like jumping around this much, or if it's probably just because I couldn't remember it. But the next thing I remember is being outside, and I come across this little creature. And this happened a couple times in the dream, but this was the only time that I could remember with detail. I just know that it happened earlier in the dream. This fucking notebook. It was a like little centipede, like a fire centipede creature, and I could tell that I found a shiny version. Like I know that there was different parts of this dream where I fused different stuff together, but this was like the only real example that I could remember of it. It was there, like the creatures were, some of them were like from Pokemon, and this one was a Sizzlipede, but it didn't look like Pokemon Sizzlipede. I could tell that it was Sizzlipede, but it had been Elder Scrollsified, if you know what I mean. And this was the shiny version. I'm so sorry that I'm having such a rough time explaining this, but this wasn't the first time that I came across a shiny version of a creature, is what I'm trying to say. This was just the one example that I could remember better. So I like come to this creature, and it's like a fucking giant fire centipede, and it literally looks like shiny Sizzlipede. Like the thing on its back was blue, and it had like blue elements in its like pincer mouth. And I don't know if I literally like went up to it with my first person view camera and like looked around at it, or if it was like a cutscene. It kind of felt like a cutscene, but now that I'm thinking about it, I might have just done it myself because it's a first person game. But I'm like getting down real close to it, and I'm like looking at it from all angles, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a shiny version. And like I said, that happened a couple other times earlier in the dream that I don't remember as many details about. Yeah, it looked like Sizzlipede, but it was an Elder Scrolls. Then I saw its pre-evolutions running around. Which Sizzlipede doesn't have pre-evolutions. This is just something my brain made up. It was like a fucking... Yeah, I can't even really think of a good way to describe it. It was like a ball with spikes. And it was like waddling around. It was like a Sizzlipede, like a centipede, but like it got squished into a ball. That's kind of what it looked like. And it was like waddling around. And yeah, that's the last thing I remember before I woke up. Like I said several times already, there was so much more to this dream that I wish I could remember the details. But I don't remember all the details. I'm sorry. I went to bed around 2:30 a.m. last night. The power went out at work yesterday, so I got home early, and I literally just laid on my couch, fucking doom scrolling on YouTube for like 2 hours before I went to sleep. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Yesterday was a weird day. I had to sit at work, literally doing nothing, just waiting for the power to come back on. And it didn't come back on. I was like one of 5 people that had to stay at work. Kind of sucked. But I got some pizza out of it. So yeah, I ate some pizza. I still had pizza in my belly by the time I went to sleep. And I first woke up before this dream around... What time was it? I think it was around like 10 o'clock. It had to have been after my first alarms. My phone reset in the middle of the night, so I had to turn it back on. That's why my first set of alarms didn't go off. So I think I woke up around 10, maybe just barely after 10:15, and reset my phone, and then fell back asleep into this dream. And then I think it was my 10:30 alarm woke me up from this dream. So yeah, that brings my dream recall score to 4, and my monthly dream recall score for March up to 4. So, yeah, let me know down in the comments if you're still watching, if you had any interesting dreams this morning. I'd love to read it. And good night, and sweet dreams.